So how far? So far. Wow, how far? So far, how do you feel about being part of Express KickCharge and just leaving that out?
I'm used to it.
I'll let you go first, Blitz.
I'm used to it, being the second active member of this group, there are definitely some downfalls here and there, but we're managed as a group to to manage to, just to do good things in the future, because, as a group, we, there are some troubles, but we still get it through, because we're all good friends.
Yes.
And from your side, Christian?
And of course, none of this would be possible if it weren't for me, random subscriber / YouTuber, finding a random video of a video called 70 impressions of this guy right here. It's called Fresh X. Of course, that right here, but it's called Fresh X, and he did an excellent job of doing these impressions because I really like the show so much. And then I asked him to do some Ben 10 impressions. And because of that, he got so many comments and views of that. It's like I was meant to find him and make him very likable.
And yeah, but couldn't agree more.
And we became good friends ever since. He subscribed to my channel. And then, not long after that, I don't know if I met Fresh or Blitz first, but it doesn't matter. I met Blitz on another channel called Pets the World. He's as a random subscriber, and we had similar profile pictures, which is only named Blitz over for Ben 10 Omniverse, because we both like Ben 10, and we became instant friends. But we haven't talked in a long time because mainly my YouTube is connected to Charter, which is a Wi-Fi stuff. So I didn't have Charter for about 3 years. So it was 2020 when I got my own phone, and that's where I met you guys again. And that's where I developed a thing called StreamYard, and well, there you go.
I mean, yeah. And Christian, I remember the year we met. It was 2018 when we met.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. For me, the origins of me, meeting Christian first, before knowing he did a lot of streaming, because he did a lot of streaming back in the day, and getting a lot of YouTube friends together. Before I joined, it was kind of a coincidence because a day before I joined his stream, I was searching something for Ben 10, and I saw Christian's video. I didn't know him at the time, but the next day I see this guy. I'm like, what the hell?
Yep. And I wouldn't have discovered StreamYard until I found this random YouTuber, and I found out that you can tap into a link and apparently you can actually talk to real life people. It's just astounding. So if I haven't found that, I wouldn't have done my own StreamYard, and we got together as good friends.
And yeah, what was so special about our first official StreamYard as a group, I remember, yes, I was the new one in the StreamYard, and just talking, facts and all that, there was this one part that Christian got really surprised about. It was about Carl's Rocket. It was did you know that the actor that played Mr. Crocker also played Rat Dude's man? He was like, wait, let me do my research. Oh my God, you're right.
Wait, to start over, what was it that shocked me about Carl's Rocky?
That he was the voice of Mr. Crocker, and he was also the voice of Rat Dude's man.
Oh, well, I kind of knew that, but here's the thing, though, because I didn't really know Carl's Rocky back then. I mean, I knew, as a voice work and all, but, I don't get too excited over that often, and plus, one of those instances, where you mentioned that Richard Stephen Corbett's voice Brain Matter, and that kind of with my mom, and she came out one night. I was swimming in the pool because that's where I usually do my shorts, in the pool. But yeah, I don't really do that anymore.
And basically, and we just doing a lot of streamers together. And I eventually got Fresh doing his own streamers whenever Christian kind of done his, which were very memorable.
Yeah. Well, the reason I did a lot of StreamYards mainly because it was during the summer. I think I was still school back then. Or wait, well, that was in 2020 because I actually, I just do like it like constantly. So, but and nowadays I just like do it like once a day. So,
with the streams just with me and Fresh by ourselves, it was all that. It was really fun, talking about some differences, some similarities, like shows, anything like that. It was really fun.
Yeah, and the fact that we have a bunch of things in common, like we all like certain voice actors.
But yes, and that got us to future projects back then. Because yes, again, this was back in 2020. No, but here's the thing, though. Even though 2020 might have been one of the worst years, it was very memorable. Like, it was nostalgic, if you think about it.
Yeah. Again, it was the year that I brought you all together, and of course there's some unmentionables, but there's like some good friends. Like for example, Nick, yeah, thank you, Kickstick. Man, I wish he would come back, but of course he's got his own job and plus school, so. But who knows? He might return one day. Who knows?
No, legit. Before we became this whole group, it was legit the 5 of us. It was you, me, Fresh, the one that should not be named, and Kickstick, usually on StreamYard.
Yeah, and then later on it would be Edith Vaughn. Yeah, Edith Vaughn, which I don't watch her videos much, but I'm still subscribed to her. But
there's also Scarlet Prime, Rosebud.
I feel sad that she got like her channel deleted.
It is, because some people want to be assholes, but we won't mention anything.
Yeah. I just hope she comes back somehow.
There was also Cinnabon.
I forgot about that dude. He never spoke at all.
He never spoke, but he did a lot of cool stuff on his channel. He did definitely bring some funny parts. There was also Rattles that used to join up. But there was also Bricks.
Oh, I forgot about that dude.
There was also Brighton Skinner that usually joined here and there. There was also Slayer.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of members that we totally forgot about because we haven't seen them in such time.
I haven't forgotten it because I keep like a memo.
I mean, me too, because I have a freaking photographic memory. Like, that's why I made that video on my second channel yesterday. Photographic memory.
Yeah. There was also Mastermind that joined around 2021. There was also Nick, aka Chase. Spider Kevin. There was also, who else was it? I'm trying to check. Oh yeah, Jaden Lemons.
Well, he barely comes out to join.
And let's see, who was it? I just named.
I would say I think that's all, but I don't know who else would it be.
Nikki.
Oh, her. Yeah. Well, she mainly joins your channel streams, not like mine. Well, sometimes she joins mine, but mainly yours.
Because she knows she's gonna have a fun time with hilarious. And of course, there's also Bobby. He used to join.
Of course, he's a new member. Of course, I've been knowing him ever since. Like, I found him at one channel. I don't remember what it was, but I became a good friend ever since. But I'm glad he's like part of our team, even though we didn't really announce it.
I mean, and then again, there was, of course, he used to join our streams back in 2020. He joined once, but his audio was not really working, so that's why, didn't really join that much. Who? Bobby. Because he joined one time with your StreamYard back in 2020.
Oh yeah, but his audio is working now.
Yes. And, now
mainly he does really good impressions of what characters we do.
Yes. But like nowadays it's mainly you, me, Fresh, Bobby, and Mastermind. Like sometimes, just mainly for the streams. But
Yeah, well, mainly, like, I mean, if we want Mastermind and or Bobby to come with fresh streams, I usually for what do you call it?
Voice for all?
Yeah, thank you, Voice for all. And Mastermind barely joins my streams anymore.
because remember, he also has a job.
I know, but I'm just saying that it's mainly Bobby that usually joins my streams. But if not, it's okay. I don't mind. Like, it's just me, you, and Fresh.
And, this variety of, like, of course. And now going to me, why I started my channel. Yeah, so originally, because, I saw everybody else had their own channels, so I was like, let me start mine. Because originally I was going to start in November, but I started really early in October. And, just making my, introduction to my first video. And eventually doing Favorite Character Frenzy, which used to be called, what was it?
Favorite cartoon character frenzy, yeah.
Yeah, favorite cartoon character, yeah. Then eventually I had to change the title in season 17 because bringing more characters from live action and all that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And of course, since you got school, you barely do that anymore. So.
But I could do them, but planning on like when I could do them, like for a special occasion,
Yeah.
But I also do favorite voice roles sometimes here and there. What was it? What else? I used to do voice pairings here and there.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And because of you, you kind of did turn me into Kim Master first of all before I started doing it more often. But I didn't know how to use it then. But now I figured it out. And like my first video I did was, what was it? Oh yeah, it was like
Your
my
favorite?
favorite band of aliens.
Yeah, and I used to do a lot of shout outs and everything. Of course, doing my own StreamYards here and there,
Yeah.
Of course, mainly now I just do behind the ends and holding the ends, so which I don't mind, just keep it a good but of course. Oh yeah, with my StreamYard, I start off like a little bit, how would I say this? I guess because my first streamer, I guess you could say it was a little bit good, a little bit bad at the same time, because getting used to like how to work the controls of like StreamYard. But getting used to it. I did have some pretty awesome streams, I gotta admit, especially in Christmas 2020. It was like the best. First, you remember the one we were talking about, fast food commercials?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah, where I got my Nintendo Switch and you got your, computer, and we were just showing commercials here and there. Those were the best.
It was.
And when you're doing a StreamYard, you usually put your link in Discord.
I used to do that, but now I can learn, to just put it in the description. That's it, Because whenever I do it, putting it in the live chat, it doesn't work sometimes. Yeah. But of course, another thing I liked about Streamer was Blitz and Falls, and it was the best. I wish you could do that.
You might. Who knows? So that's why. And I don't know why I stopped doing guesses voice and other guesses anymore. Maybe probably because I'm used to doing on demand. So that's probably why.
It's not that, because you basically use all the characters.
Well, because I just started over my channel and I haven't done every one of those, so I might need to bring them back somehow. And of course, I see new movies in here and there, so I might bring those, but we'll see.
Let's see here. Going back to stream. What was it? Oh yeah, I used to do this thing back in 2021. God, I'm still here. I used to do a lot of streamers called Blitz and Friends, and those streamers were the best. Oh man, I wish I could go back to that. I would do these streamers until 12 o'clock in the morning.
12 o'clock in the morning, dadgum.
Yeah, because we would start at 9 o'clock and we'd be going out till 12. It was like a party.
Man. But of course, I wouldn't be staying up that long. I would either go to bed after 9 or after 10, but dadgum, Blitz.
Listen, you gotta be a party animal, because around this time, I was still doing online school, so really, I didn't have to go in person.
Oh yeah, that's right, you did. And now you just go to actual school.
Yes, you know. To be honest, I kind of miss doing online school because, you know, I have more time to do everything, especially with you guys and, you know, other things to do. And you gotta admit, yeah, 2020 was something else, you know. We did some crazy stuff.
Well, here's the thing, though. You know, the reason why 2020 is a year and COVID came out, but that's not entirely true. COVID apparently came out in 2019. It was like started out in China.
That's
So
why
we
it's
have
called
to try to time for this.
That's why it's called COVID-19. 2019. That's what it's called. That.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah,
That actually makes sense.
2020, you know, God, I miss that year a little bit because, you know, again, you know, bringing back a lot of memories. But 2021 was a glow for me, especially because, you know, we were doing Blitz for the first time. I was doing many things with other people, like meeting other people from StreamYard. And it was a blast, to be honest.
Yeah, well, having that for me, of course, mainly, well, you know what I mean because of what happened in 2020.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, also in 2020, I did this new thing called recast videos I did with Fresh because in one of our streams that we did back then, we were just talking about random stuff and then we bring up Total Drama Island and, you know, we were just talking about how we don't know half the cast members at the time, so, you know, just think of like an American cast taking over, you know. It was awesome.
Yeah, but of course, and you did ornamental for Chris McClain, but of course, we didn't expect him to actually have his voice changed. And I don't really know the guy, but I know he's Canadian because I can tell by the accent.
He's the same guy that voices Don, you know, from the Rodako's race, Total Drama.
The what?
Yeah, the actor that plays him now, yeah. He also plays Don, you know, from Total Drama Rodako's like race, you know, the other host.
Oh. So
Yeah.
basically, I mean, they could just have that guy come in and host it if they were not like change voice actors.
I mean, to be honest, who do you like more, Chris or Don?
Chris, because he's more recognizable. Even though he's pretty hated, he's still like an iconic. It's basically the mascot of the whole franchise.
He is, you know. It's something. But yeah, there are definitely some sad things that happened, you know, that we won't mention. But you know, 2023 was something else today. You know, we had, you know, just doing what we usually do with our current, you know, jobs on YouTube, just uploading and all that, doing StreamYard, and basically, you know, just going on, you know.
And of course, I wasn't always part of Ornamental, because remember, I started doing Ornamental when I suggested Fresh to start Prince of Resident Evil, but you asked me to do it because I was the only one that was familiar with it. But it was actually an honor for me.
Yes, and I was very honored to find out that Fresh actually got inspired by me for this Ornamental to play my recast videos.
And it's a good idea, because, I mean, what that did, Fresh projected the voices of Optimus, Knuckles, Harley Quinn,
Tails.
Thank you, Tails, which I knew it. I knew it was going to be actually Ball. Because, I mean, think about it. Actually, Ball has a similar voice which it does, like Rainbow Dash or any other character that has that type of voice. And it sounds very little bit Tails. And they did it, and I was right. And, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say for your Ornamental prediction.
Yeah, like, of course, it was like around the season 2 for Transformers Earthspark, and I was like, is Grimlock gonna be in it? Because it did show like footage of him like a flashback, but it actually did show him at like at a commercial. I think I saw it. Yeah, I saw it on YouTube. That's where I saw it, and I actually like found the wiki, and that like gave me a freaking shock to find out that Keith David, and he was my second choice too for Grimlock.
Nice. And for me, you know, my first one was Master Splinter, and yeah, Jackie Chan was my first choice for Splinter. My reason was because, yeah, of course, I could see him playing Master Spencer, but my main reason was because, both him and Seth Rogen were a Kung Fu Canal, so I was like thinking to myself, well, so Jackie Chan, what would happen?
Yeah, and of course, Jackie Chan has played like a master before, like Master Wu and Lego Ninjago movie.
Don't forget about the Karate Kid.
Right, the rebooted one, not the original one.
It is, and of course, also particularly Fred Flintstone. I was kind of shocked about that because
yeah, I wasn't expecting another one either, and the fact that Stevie Root, I couldn't actually see it. And your third prediction, what was it, Taz?
yes.
And there's another one coming up, but we're not entirely certain about this character, because I'll go ahead and mention it, because like Diddy Kong from Mario movie, because I found a clip on YouTube and someone said that was apparently Eric Bauza, and then like not too long ago, like a few nights ago, I was looking at Wikipedia and apparently it said Tom Kenny. But Blitz showed me a screenshot, it changed it to Eric Bauza. So they might have gotten that wrong.
So this is what's gonna do. I'm just gonna give it a week until they actually confirm it. But originally, because when Christian sent me that screenshot, I'll make a video about it. I'll be like, look at this, Tom Kenny is playing a little monkey.
Yeah, but
when I did my research again, I was like, well, I think change it. And I was like, oh, my friends are about. But I had to make sure, so I'm just gonna give it a week. And when that week ends, I'm just gonna find out if it's actually Eric Bauza. But it's still an honor. But what he has, push Steve Bloom voice test is actually a good role for him, because at first I thought it was Jim Cummings. I was like, oh, damn, it's Steve?
I mean, yeah, that's just, wow.
Of course. First, would you like to talk about the people that got roles from your own episodes?
Okay, yeah. Starting with Knuckles, I did suggest. I first suggested with him, and up until after the second Sonic movie was released, and then later on they released a freaking short called Drone Home, and that's when I really did predict that Fred Tatasciore voiced him in that short, and it was just the most amazing thing that I've ever felt. One of the most amazing things, I would say.
And yeah, so you were glitching the whole time.
Yeah, well, I got it on record, so it doesn't really matter.
But I was going to say, I was there when you first predicted it, because you were helping me with Logo at the time.
Right.
And I'll be back.
We're live now. Okay, so as I tried to explain, yes, back when I was still just practicing voiceovers, my mom gave me the idea to have my own YouTube channel. And my first ever video was me recording this animation project when I was in animation class in high school, and it did turn out pretty awesome, as it would seem. And ever since then, I did start out with doing things like, I used to do these karaoke birthday videos. It was alright, but cringy for me. And but I'm gonna say everything got better when I did my first See Me voice vid. And well, ever since then I just tried to follow like anything. Whether if anybody can do that, then so can I. But not in a way to make it. I didn't come on YouTube to just be a show-off or showboater, to be, like, arrogant or it sounds like that. I just only show to give gifts that can, like, inspire people to do the things that they wish to do.
Yeah, I'm glad that your mom helped you through that.
Yeah.
And I remember, I didn't really join them, but I remember that you did lectures with your mom about autism.
Well, yes. What was it? What was it? It was like beyond the label, just showing how much different I am from other people who have autism, because I can basically just really control mine.
joined one of them. If you remember that, Fresh.
Yes, you did. Oh wait, you were there, and
then,
Nick was there, and I think Christian, like I think you were there too.
No, it was a stream with you, me, and eventually Nick joined for some reason.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And what stream was it that your mom came in and actually said hi to her?
I don't remember. I mean, like, it was a while ago, but well, I mean, well, you know, just things just happen to change. All right, like anything else from?
Well, Blitz is muted right now.
No. Hello? Hello?
Oh, okay. One of the best accomplishments that I ever did back in 2021 was when I started doing like better impressions. Because we were doing a voice, and you know, we were doing our first ever Sonic Boom voice for all, and I think we were waiting on something, and we are just sparing some time. I think somebody said something. Bless you.
Thank you.
I think somebody said stupid. No. I think somebody said something stupid. I started laughing, but I wasn't laughing like my normal laugh. I was laughing like. And Fresh pointed out that I sound like Fozzie Bear. I was like.
And that's where you decided to do like a lot of Fozzie impressions.
With the Fozzie voice, you know, it was not perfect at first, because at first, my Fozzie voice sounded like his drunk cousin at first.
Or that Boozy guy from the Muppets 2011 was like,
That's the wrong Muppets. It's Muppets Most Wanted.
Yeah.
No, it's the first Muppets.
No. Oh.
It was the first Muppets.
Oh, you should really? Oh, okay. Dang.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
Why do I keep getting that confused?
But I remember the first one I joined. It's actually one of the ones the Sonic Boom, because I didn't know how it worked really, but I got used to it and I became part of the voice role ever since. And I actually had fun with it.
Yeah, and we call it like how it originally sounded was like that's how it sounded before, but watching, you know, more videos and you don't, you know, developing the voice and then, oh, hi there, what the, you know, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
And I didn't know we were doing, you know, commercials.
Which one do you like better?
Honestly, the movie.
Yeah, me too. Especially when it got turned blue, when she got the ice flower, it actually looks gorgeous.
Just let it go. Get it? Let it go.
I knew that was coming.
But yeah, learning that I could do Fozzie Bear, then I eventually go with all the voices that I currently do. Like Animal. Animal was no trouble to do, you know. It was just Fozzie's voice, but, you know, just yelling a lot like, Rawr!
Well, yeah, because they're both voiced by the same voice actor, so it's easily recognizable.
Yeah. And then the most challenging part that I'm kind of surprised today still was Miss Piggy. Cause with Miss Piggy, I was kind of surprised with, because I was watching the Muppet Babies, and I was like, you know, how does this actor play Miss Piggy? Because in that show, you know, she's played by a female, because usually, you know, Miss Piggy's played by a male.
Well, yeah, which makes sense for you to do it, and they went do a turnaround, so.
Yeah, and I remember Miss Piggy wasn't easy to do at first, because I had to, like, you know, basically warm up for her. Like, I would go like, but I could just do it on command now. Oh, hi, Charlie. That's it.
Yeah, and you all were shocked the fact that the first time we ever did voice role for Powerpuff Girls and the episode Telephonies, you were shocked that I can actually perfectly do the voice of him.
Because again, that's one of the few times you actually changed your voice for a certain character.
Well, I had to. I mean, because we all know that him does a better voice. But I just want to try that. So, stuff. Well, I can't do it right now. I've changed over time, but
Yeah. Oh yeah, first, remember that impression that I loved that you were doing back in the day, back in 2020, if you remember?
Right, yes, of course. Let me guess. Regular show with the episode temp check.
It was Hank Hill.
Oh, right, Hank Hill. Yeah.
Fresh.
Yeah, I'm still here. Hello.
Oh, I was mentioning that. Yeah, you were doing a lot of Hank Hill back in the day.
Back in the day. Oh, right. I mainly used him for like one voice for all when I did solo Tough Puppy Share a Lair. Yeah.
You used to use it for your Home Alone one.
Yes, I did.
and you did it so well too.
Mm-hmm. And you know, the surprising part about Fresh was like, out of all the voice actors that you know able to match, Kevin Michael Richardson was the top notch for him.
There it is.
Exactly. He's like so good too. Like my favorites are the Joker one, Sharp Blubs. My top one is Gantu.
Gantu.
Sorry.
My favorite one that Fresh has ever done is Sharp Loves, because the way how he voiced it and how Kevin voiced it, like Fresh, he gives them Sharp Loves.
Alright, yeah. Deputy Durden, this is a mission that we've been working on our entire career. Quick read my mind.
City boy.
Well, look at what we got here. City boy thinks he's gonna solve a mystery with his fancy computer phone.
Yeah.
And before that Sheriff Blitz, he also voiced another sheriff character, Pig Sheriff, from Samurai Jack.
He was also one of the cops, also in Recess School's Out.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. The ones from Recess.
Oh, right. Yes, thank you.
Good times, because I remember when we were doing our Thanksgiving on StreamYard back in 2021, it was just a whole stream of Fresh doing Kim Microsoft's impressions.
Yes, I remember that. That was fun, too.
It was cool, yes.
It was one of the best moments of our life
Like,
ever.
Fresh, what is your favorite impression you do of Kevin, personally? What's your favorite?
Yeah, that's weird. Okay, I guess second place would be Dimongo, and first, what was it? Well, I guess Joker, just by the way he just plays him.
Makes sense. I mean, can you give them a little taste of Joker?
Okay, let's see. So I may be a little under the weather, but what are you gonna do? Lock me in a loony bin? I'm already here. Nothing on my sleeve. That won't stop me putting a smile on your face.
Another thing was like, what?
What?
I was about to say, another thing Fresh could do like really good, because whenever Kevin Microsoft has a new role that comes up, either like years that pass, he can really do it. Like when they first announced the Mario movie and when they posted the first trailer, immediately he did the voice of Kamek. That was really surprising.
Yeah, and it sounds like Chameleon from
Yes, we've been over this. Yes, it is an impression of Peter Lorre, the inspiration for Chameleon's voice. Yes, we've been over this. But go on.
But yeah, that's what I admire about Fresh. Always good with these impressions. Just keep up with his channel, and just helping each other out with our channels. Basically, like I help him, he helps me, we help Christian. Anything's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. I mean, well, that's about it for me.
Well, yeah. what exactly inspired you for your eventual possible dream job? Like, that's how I just wanted to.
Okay, so I thought of two, because, yeah, either actually, no, three, actually. It was either, yes, a voice actor, was it an artist for animation or something like that, yes, or a comedian.
And
That's for me.
and of course, like, even though you can manage to pull all that off, but which one would you personally would want?
I feel like comedy, because immediately, if somebody tells me something, you can make a joke out of it. You just have to be clever with it.
Well, yeah.
I mean, yeah, another thing, the jokes, and of course, with me especially, being like, oh wow, or like, that's what she said, it's, a running gag apparently.
And back then, I used to be annoyed by that, especially the wow one, but over time, I got used to it. Especially that's what she said, because I get the jokes now.
Yeah,
Anyway, you also mentioned you wanted to dream of becoming a voice director.
Yes, because when we were doing our first recasts and all that, something that we're, new at, over the times that we have been doing, recasts or anything like that, eventually that inspired me to, like, want to be a director myself, because, with being a voice director, you get to choose these certain actors for, like, certain shows, like, you call them, and if they show up, you do the auditions, and, that's how you basically do it, and, I also got inspired by Charlie Adler. Because, he's been in the acting business since he was 15, and, good doing commercials, then eventually voiceovers, like him, like his first one being Spike from the OG My Little Pony series, and, it's still going on today, which is really fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's for me. And you, Christian?
For what?
For your,
dream
like,
job.
yeah, like if you got one in store.
Well, of course, I always like drawing and stuff. I always want to be an artist, but since I am a voice actor fan, and I always want to do voice acting too, because there are a lot of voice actors and voice actresses that have a lot of range. Besides Kevin Murkerson, also Tara Strong, Grey Delisle, Mark Hamill, and even T. Bradley Baker. It's like one of those examples. Like, he could change his voice range, like being a normal voice with a German accent, and he could do like different alien and animal noises. That's just what I love about him.
Don't forget about the current king of voice acting today. Don't forget about Frank Walker.
Well, of course, because he could do like lion noises, with or without a metal trash can.
Well, of course, also doing dogs, things like that, animal noises. But of course, giving full credit of the best one about Mel Blanc.
Well, of course, and besides doing every voice, exception of the female voices, voiced by one or two female actors, but he usually does Russian accents. That's his main trademark for doing certain characters, doing Russian accents.
Prime example for T. Bradley Baker doing a Russian accent has to be Pandor or NRG.
Well, yeah, since they're technically the same thing, but yeah, he did pretty good.
Yes. There you go. Because, what? What?
No, just youngin'.
Oh, I thought you were gasping. I'm like, what?
No, that's
okay. But yeah, with voice actors, getting more into them, I just wanted to know, basically these fantastic people behind these, iconic characters over the years, because, before I met you guys, I knew some in prior, because the main two that I knew, because I would see their names or their voices mainly, was Tom Kenny and Tara Strong.
Well, yeah.
And, because, watching a lot of videos and, just watching episodes, eventually you put these pieces together, because when I first found out about Tom Kenny, not through SpongeBob, it was because I was doing this comparison. I was like, because I was watching episodes of Transformers Animated at the time, and just comparing the voice of Starscream, I was like, wait, he sounds like the Ice King, and then finding out that was Tom Kenny.
Yeah, and if you watch Rodeo Over Yonder, you can hear a little bit of Starscream and SpongeBob or Ice King in his voice.
But yeah, of course, we're talking, the main characters are for him is SpongeBob, the Ice King, Heifer, the Mayor, anybody, And he's been doing this for a really long time, just being, starting out as a comedian, Just going on. With Tara Strong, is a great story. She started voice acting when she was 13, and her being, Hello Kitty at the time.
Yeah, and she became good friends with Cree Summer, who was also, doing her rookie voice acting, too.
I mean, yes, it's awesome that, eventually these kind of child actors, are still acting today. That's still, amazes me. Because, sometimes these certain actors would retire throughout the ages, but, I'm just glad, these certain actors haven't yet.
Well, of course. And, when you watch cartoons, you're, find out, for example, of course, I watched Adventure Time, but I didn't catch on that was John DiMaggio. But, of course, my most notable one of John was Wrath from the Ben 10 franchise. And while at friend's house one many, many years ago, I discovered a show called Reddy Cunningham, Ninth Grade Ninja on Disney XD. And there's this guy with a robotic arm, later found out to be a man called Hannibal McFist. And I clearly hear Wrath's voice. And when I found out the man behind it, I fell in love with John DiMaggio just like that.
A similar story to me. John, the first time was the Adventure Time, then eventually Events, and I found out about John DiMaggio was through this video on YouTube. It was basically Bender going downstairs, and he has Finn and Jake chained up in the walls, and Jake was asking, "What time is it? Time for you to shut up." Oh, and I've seen these comments, and it's the same voice. I'm like, what? And then, I saw the official video of John DiMaggio's voices. I was looking at the thumbnail. I was like, wait a minute, he played these many characters? I was really surprised that he was rapped.
I know. And the fact that he has that many ranges, he could go for the yelling voice or normal talky voice, or he could do an accent or do a really deep voice.
Exactly. And he especially impressed me in Ben 10 and Alien Force throughout Omniverse because of how many voices he done.
I know, especially that he could do a vampire accent for Vampire.
Yes, Vampire. But yeah, first, you want to say your future job?
Well, yeah. I did first started to become an artist too because drawing was the only thing I was good at. But up until about 2008, when back I was attending elementary school and we had to read in front of the class because that was really cool to do. I read the book Little Bill, The Day I Saw My Father Cry, and that was when my mom kind of gave me advice on how to switch voices. I thought that was dumb at first, but when I saw eventual videos of Brock Baker doing these voices, I was like, oh, okay, this is really interesting. But the true inspiration, of course, was Tom Kenny. He was the main reason
Makes a lot of sense.
He was the main reason after I figured out of so many voices that he'd done, and first seeing him in this freaking bumper from Nickelodeon where he sung "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" in SpongeBob's voice.
Wow. And there are certain voice actors that just use the normal voices. Like, for example, Ashley Johnson.
Well, yeah.
Johnson. Well, yeah, it's normal, but there was one exception, though, in the Jumanji, TV show back in the day.
What do you mean?
Because she voiced this character named Peter, and of course that was the first male role that she ever played. And it was surprising because she actually used a different voice other than her normal voice at the time.
Oh, so she lowered it. Oh, so that's pretty something. And another example would be Mae Whitman.
Sometimes with Mae Whitman, but then again, you have to remember she started as a child actor.
Oh, yes, that is true. Because whoever first roles was Little Susie, not Little Susie. That's not her name.
No, you had it right.
Yeah, you had it right.
Oh, okay. So I was thinking of Little Susie from Fancy Her, but Little Susie from Johnny Bravo.
Yes, and just going, with the evolution of her voice, again, with child actors, you can't really blame them. Of course, another prime example, Patrick Warburton.
Yeah, and his voice is very recognizable. He just uses the same voice, and it's pretty funny too, especially with Joe Swanson and Family Guy.
Yeah, I first noticed him when I was watching these certain movies because before I knew he was an actor and a voice actor. Because I first got introduced to him in Family Guy. But whenever I watched these certain movies at school, the first one was Open Season, and I really knew. I was like, wait, isn't that the guy from Family Guy? Why does he sound like him? And then another thing was The Emperor's New Groove. I was like, this guy's everywhere.
Oh yeah, it's all coming together now.
Clever.
Oh, the liver croc.
One lever! Why do we have that lever? Oh yeah, and Eartha Kitt, bless her soul. Yeah, besides Yzma, she also voiced a character named Vexus from Monsters of Teenage Robot.
Yes.
Main antagonist.
She was also one of the actors to play Catwoman back in the day for live action.
Right. That was like back in, was it 1950?
60s.
60s,
Oh,
yes.
no, my bad.
And she was one of the first actors to play Bagheera from the Jungle Book, but as a female.
Whoa.
Yeah. And this is the one with Brian Bill Murray as Baloo the Bear, basically.
Wow. Female Bagheera. I can't get
It's
down.
kind of funny, though, with Baloo the Bear. First it was Brian Bill Murray, then Bill Murray.
Yeah, and in the 2016 reboot, Ka is now female, voiced by Scarlett Johansson.
Yes. Yeah, I got a question here, since we're talking about this topic. Of course there's many, but this be true for here. I'm just gonna ask one by one. Alright, Fresh. Out of all of the actors or voice actors, which one shocked you the most with their talent?
The most. Yeah, that's a good question. The most. That's. Oh wait, yeah. Okay, so I had this PowerPoint about my version of Hall of the Greats. So I'm gonna have to just.
Okay, while you're doing that, Christian, out of all of them, which one was the most surprising to you? Just be truthful, it's one.
Easy. Deep Bright Beggar, because I didn't know who he was until I discovered him in the voice session and mentioned in voice video game for the Wii. The fact that he voiced all the aliens, well, of course, save for Alien X, but the fact that he can do those voices, Fire Monkey, Humongousaur, Jet Ray, and those noises he made for the dealing aliens and Pixar aliens, that's just astounding. I mean, I would have known about Deep Bright Beggar if it weren't for that session. It's just crazy. That's why I think he's the king of voice actors for me, because of how much range he can do.
True. Okay, voice actor. Okay, actual, normal actor that does live action. Which one surprised you the most, Christian?
Ooh, damn, that's a question. Tom Hiddleston, because I didn't know that he can sing. Because, of course, we all know Tom Hiddleston for Loki. That's how I got juice from him. But, looking for behind the voice actor video of Tinkerbell Pirate Fairy, I was excited to see Raymond Simone, Jim Cummings, and Kim Robertson mainly. But the fact that Tom Hiddleston can sing, boy, can he sing! That voice is really good.
Awesome.
And of course, another one would be Neil Patrick Harris when I found out that he could sing, because I didn't know that he was a Broadway singer. Because at the time, I didn't really know who Music Meister was until I watched more videos about him and actually saw an episode on DVD and YouTube. Is wow. And that's why I love mainly now about Neil Patrick Harris, because of that voice he can do. And I got used to Patrick in the first 2011 live action movie. And another thing I didn't know about that, he was actually gay in real life.
I mean, yeah. Yeah, and that's what surprised me too. Like, but he's still good. He's still a great actor overall because still
Of course.
Yeah.
And of course, I wouldn't have that kind of money, but if I did and I went to one of his Broadways, I want to because I want to hear his voice.
Yes.
And if I met him, I was like, thank you for being the voice of Music Meister. You did excellent. I can't wait to make his day.
And first, did you find yours?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so voice actor wise, who was it?
Yes, Seth MacFarlane.
Oh,
That's a good one.
That's a good one. Yeah, elaborate more of it.
Well, yes. He was one of the perfect examples where you be a full-on voice artist, not one time, but full-on, like you want the job, and not just. When it's your own show, you make the shots, but it's just mostly his voice in general, how he could just juggle so many voices, and it's great for him to use his natural speaking voices for characters like Brian and Tom Tucker to make it much more easier, but still fun nevertheless. And also for his singing chops, yes.
That's a great
one shocker that he could do a really unique laugh for Peter, and for Qui-Gon, it's like giddy.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. And the fact that these characters that he brought to life are actually based on people that he knew as a kid or throughout his life.
Yes.
Yeah, that is pretty spot on.
Yeah. And first, do you have one for live action? Any actor in particular that you're surprised about?
Robin Williams.
Oh, that's definitely good. I agree with Fresh because, besides him being a comedian, he's also an actor. His most famous role is Genie from Aladdin.
Yes. He did really good. Also getting introduced to him in the OG Jumanji movie, he did really great. Also in Robots and many other projects. He always surprises us either way.
Even though he has passed on, but we still love him in our hearts.
Yes. And for me, the most shocking voice actor was definitely Darren Norris for me.
That makes sense, because, of course, we all know him most in Philly Young Parents as Cosmo and Mr. Turner.
Don't forget about Jordan.
Yes, that too. And originally, he was going for Arnold Schwarzenegger type of deal, but now it's a lot more gruff.
Yeah. That shocked me the most, that he's able to do a high-pitched voice, a dad's voice, and just, doing many accents, especially with Jordan.
Yeah, and you can tone it down for a normal voice. For example, in Transformers Prime, he just turned his voice for Knockout, and he just turns his voice also for a character in Jane Phantom named Bullet. And when he first spoke, all he spoke was, "You are a ghost." I immediately knew that was Mr. Turner.
Yeah, because it was my video. Yeah, when I posted my video about him, you were surprised. Wait, he voiced that fish ghost villain from Jane Phantom. Then of course, then you heard the voice.
That's because at the time I had found a whole series of Jane Phantom on DVD, but I'm thinking about get rid of it because some of the discs are scratched up and I can't watch them, so I might get a full thing on Amazon and watch the whole series. But yeah, that's another thing I like about Darren Norris.
Yeah, and what was it? Yeah, I remember the first time you discovered Darren Norris because it was Fresh's episode, especially. You were like, wait, he's Knockout? He's Count Spankalot? That's what happened.
Spankalot especially, I didn't know.
It's basically Timmy's dad's voice, but with a vampire voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And of course, I shocked Fresh because I showed him this clip years ago that he voiced Diamond Headed for live action.
Oh, yeah, that also shocked me, too.
And, he told me in the comments, he was like, "Oh, no way," because it sounded like John DiMaggio to me, he said to me.
Well, it would have been cool if John voiced him at one time, but, I mean, Darren did match Jim Ward's voice perfectly.
Yeah. The many projects he's been in, I was really surprised about, especially being in 4 of, Butch Harmon's shows, Dry Out Parents, Diddy Phantom, Tough Puppy, and Bust of the Beast. That's really astounding. other media as well. And I was especially shocked to know it's like some of his live action roles, especially from the Thundermans, Big Time Rush, and Dog with the Block, and much more. That's what I liked about him because he did live action and animation.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's and for live action, this full-on actor, it has to be Johnny Depp. Because his performances are outstanding, like as Jack Sparrow. But what surprised me the most was when he played Willy Wonka.
Oh yeah, and he also, which I didn't watch the movie, the live action. I was the one where he played Mad Hatter. Do you think that movie is good?
It's okay.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, of course, because Johnny Depp had some iconic characters throughout the years, if you think about it as well.
Of course.
Like Edward Scissorhands. And who else
Rango.
Who else can we see? Yes, that's how I actually got introduced to him, because of that movie. It was a great movie.
Yes, it was. And I will get to, I do have...
Let's see here. But, yeah, with his Willy Wonka voice, because you can hear his current voice, you'd be like, that's not him. But it shocked me when I find out that he actually could still do the voice of it. Yeah, this is how high pitched he could go.
Yeah, and I have the original Alice in Wonderland. And when I do watch it, and I might find the turns out, because I know Dad used to, and I found out that she got like a scratch. So I think he's from that B stage, and he lost his eye. She gave it back to him. That's all I heard. And that Queen character got her head chopped off.
Yeah. And we call it. What I also liked about Johnny Depp is like, he doesn't presence himself. Like one of them being the late Don Rickles.
Yeah.
Yes.
And who knows if there will be a new Toy Story movie with? Well, they're supposed to be one, and I don't know if they're gonna add Mr. Potato Head, but if they do, they could have Johnny Depp doing that.
Yeah. And let's see here. Like another actor that surprised me, like nowadays, like, but of course in the past, it's definitely Jack Black.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially when he recently did Bowser. When he was teased as him, I was like, oh, come on, Jack Black as Bowser. But when they first showed the trailer, the very first trailer, and when he did a voice, it blew our mind, because we didn't expect him to do it so good.
Yeah, it was something else. But I mostly think of...
Alright, hang on a minute. My mom was like calling about dinner, so...
I'll just talk fast, yeah. I'm mostly thinking for Kung Fu Panda, Ice Age. What was that one movie where he's a giant? What was it?
Gulliver's Travels.
Yeah, that's how I got introduced to him in live action. iCarly, Goosebumps. He's just an awesome guy to hang out with.
Oh, yeah. And, man, he's getting older, because with a beard and stuff. I'm used to him, like, with a small beard or clean shave.
I like his beard. It makes him look more awesome.
Yeah. It makes it look like he should play Santa Claus.
Oh my god. Jack Black is Santa Claus. Come to our theaters. And yeah, last...
Yeah, it's just, because the fourth picture is her older time skip in the last episode of The Owl House.
And what do you call it? Lastly, an actor that I would like to hang out with in a day would be Terry Crews. He's just an awesome guy.
And he's really nice too. Like, I don't know if you saw footage of like awards thing or something like that, and like Betty White was in the audience, and he like said, lip sync, "Thank you for being a friend."
Yeah, he's a great singer, and find out that he's actually a great artist. Cause
wow.
He used to be a sketch person, like, doing the sketching for police, investigations, like, finding out who the guy was and all that. Yeah, I especially enjoyed his work in White Chicks, Cloudy Chance and Meatballs, Craig of the Cree, and Everybody Hates Chris. He's just that awesome. Yeah.
That's a lot of people this person put together.
And that's about it for me. Like, anything else?
Me too. Nah, that's it for me.
Like, first, did you have anything else in mind, or is that it for you?
Well, it is for my side.
Okay, so any more questions, or is that it?
What would you say would be like the happiest thing that has ever happened to any of you?
The happiest day. Oh my God, that's a hard one, and that's what she said. There are so many, to be honest. Like it's hard to choose, and that's what she said. I guess. Well, can I say a certain year, if that's low?
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm gonna say 2017. That's like one of the best years for me because a lot of cool things were happening. There was new things coming out. Awesome things were going on YouTube, and getting introduced to more YouTubers. And that was my last year of elementary school. So of course I got to party on.
Oh,
So yeah. And you, Christian?
Well, there's so many choose from for what the happiest thing would be, but I guess like getting introduced to the Transformers franchise because of the 2007 movie I saw when I was 6, and that actually changed my life. And I would be a fan of Transformers if it weren't for that. So I'm really glad that that's like my life right now. Hello?
Yeah, I'm still here, and it's a good story.
I wasn't being able to still saw that. What was that?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, and you fresh?
Well, personally, when I was back in when I was attending, okay, yes, basically when I was attending Alt Elementary, everything was cool back then. Like that was like the introduction where. No, there's no introduction. Well, I guess one of my best moments about me owning this persona of me being a professional ladies band, that was a start because there's a whole bunch of girls and I enjoyed that. And I also enjoyed the parties that we used to have, and during Christmas time where we were singing karaoke in class, and just attending. One of the many perks of enjoying school. Like, of course I enjoyed it for the girls, obviously, but some good things can happen. Ending conclusion?
And in conclusion, just for us to continue our journey as a crew, There's don't let anything happen to us, of course, there's still going to be bad times, but of course, we eventually, get over it because eventually we will be working on more projects, like newer ones in the future, And that's it for me.
Yeah, and for all disclosure, again, I'm glad because of me, we all got together and became good friends, and, well, mainly best friends for that happened. And the projects we've done, I'm glad we've been keep on doing it, and we should keep on continuing on.
Bo Pete, what are you doing? You got a friend in me? And are you fresh to the conclusion?
Yeah, I was just so glad that I was able to just, meet you guys, because ever since when I graduated and I knew that, well, what am I gonna do? And ever since, well, yeah, during the time when we were still.
Cool off. Just give me a couple minutes.
Well, during
I'm waiting for him to cool off. Just give me a couple minutes.
And just during the time when I was still in school and we were still cool with each other, I still had y'all around, but it just reminded me how much I just miss certain things. I just want to have that feeling. But because, don't get me wrong, I'm good either with you guys or by myself, because I just want to make sure that everything will be fine.
Yes.
Well, cool, but it still helps with us or more people to help you out with voice world.
And yeah, another thing, I want to elaborate with what you said, fresh friends, because again, with when it was quarantine, when everybody had to do online school, this is around the time we were finishing school and all that. Because really, we were not allowed to see each other in person because, of course, with the limits of 6 feet, that made it difficult for everybody. So, like when I met you guys, you guys kind of remind me of my school friends a little bit.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
nice.
Yeah.
Because everybody was busy with quarantine, and it was something I definitely won't forget. Yeah.
Neither will I.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's about it.